All right, so it's Friday. My wife's best friend, I think, is over, so it gives me time to play on the computer. Yay. Um, so the fun of all this becomes, let me make sure that my actually capture. Okay, hopefully that works. Hopefully everything's still functioning. I'm not quite sure. Let me do an audio check. So yeah, everything's working. All right, so today I'm going to talk about interactions. Interactions is something that is new to ReactiveUI as of like the 8.0, 7.0 version of the framework, 7, 8, somewhere in there. And it's a pretty interesting and powerful tool that I don't feel like a lot of people even know exists. So I'll kind of just jump right in. I've got the docs pulled up here just because, it's always good to have docs pulled up. I'm probably going to end up referencing this before the end of it, and we're probably going to walk through some of this, and Rodney's probably going to be lost. Oh, yeah, it even gives you information on how to unit test. You can actually unit test interactions. Haha. Anyway, so they're inherently unit testable. So generally in the control flow of MVVM, what we're trying to do is get the view to talk to the view model. And we want to separate the view such that the view has knowledge of the view model, but the view model has no knowledge of the view. But then that becomes a problem when you need something in the control flow of the view model to prompt the user for information or to alert the user that something has happened. I was talking to Alan Ritchie not too long ago, and I told him, when I first started using Xamarin, I was using his dialogue service because that was like the de facto way to do dialogues in Xamarin. And now I'm going to show you kind of another way that you can approach doing that using ReactiveUI and the power of observables. So this is the Sextant sample. Sextant is a navigation library that I've been working on for the past 2 years. It originated from some work that Kent Bogart did, who's one of the legacy maintainers of the project. He wrote a blog post about abstracting away navigation service in Xamarin Forms and creating an observable implementation. This is a result of that blog post. Like that's basically what this thing is. So in it, one of the things that we do is when there's an error, maybe I'm not smarter than a fifth grader, maybe I am. Okay, so somewhere in here, let me go back to where I was, and hopefully the code is big enough to see. It's probably not, so let's go ahead and change the preferences real quick. We'll go to environment, but it's not an environment, it's an editor, it's in font, and current editor config. So let's just bump it up to like 18-point font because that's not big enough. Oh God, that's huge. I'm looking at it on my screen over here and see if it actually gets any bigger, if that's big enough, but we'll hope that that's big enough. I'll probably have to do that again in the other editor. Once I figure out how to get my streaming resolution done, it'll be better, but I'm less concerned about that and more concerned about pushing content. So one of the things that we do with these interactions is like I'm using it in this project specifically to surface an error. There was an error that was being captured in the sample that wasn't being alerted to the user, that was causing the sample to crash. So I literally just made a way to make this easier to see. So that was kind of the whole thought process behind all of that. Was use an interaction, show the error to the user, and then you can just dismiss it. It's just an alert, right? So this is the interaction. This is the interactions API. I'll dig into it real quick and use this decompiling nonsense. So you see, it can take in a scheduler. I don't think I use that very often. I think I just deal with the default scheduler that's there, which is I think the current. Yeah, it's the current instance. So whatever the current thread is, it just does it there, which is fine because I can tell it which to work on. You register an action of some iInteraction context, which has an input and an output. It registers your handler for you. That's just more stuff, and if I walk through all of this, we'll probably all need a drink, so we'll not worry about that. But long and short, what happens is you have some interaction, right? Some interaction that you can surface up from your view model, and then it gets handled based on whatever handler is registered on the view. So if I go back up here to the views, right, and I go look at the views, I can see that this interaction is registering this handler, and it's doing some really funky nonsense, right? So this is just calling the base page's display alert. Nothing special, nothing major, nothing too insane or insidious. Yeah, this is a decoupled approach, meaning that the page and the view model still really knows nothing about the page. The view model is just delegating to some handle method, and whatever handler is registered will get access to that thing. So it's kind of a pub sub pattern, but it's geared very specifically towards being able to get information from the user in a succinct manner. So let's go ahead and hop over here. Hey, it did keep it, so we'll hop over here, and I'm actually probably gonna be coming back to that for reference at some point, because who wants to rewrite all this code live when I can just copy and paste some of the bits, right? So I've been playing with this .NET new template, which is pretty fun stuff. So I've been building a succinct way to start my mobile applications. This is kind of that way. It's more or less using all the normal bits that I would use. So in here, we just got some page. We'll run it just for posterity's sake, just to prove that Rodney's not trying to feed you a big hot bowl of garbage. Although that is something I would probably do. Look over here. It's the oldest trick in the book. So yes, this is what I've been playing with. For those of you that know me, I'm part of a group. It's the group. It's me and my buddy, and it's the Rocket Surgeons Guild. So this is our logo, and I just made it into a mobile application icon and put it as part of my .NET template pack. So I've been kind of playing around with some of the new .NET template stuff, because Rider supposedly respects it out of the box. So that means I could technically just come up here and do file new project, and it would respect my .NET new template and pull it directly in from Rider. So I haven't played with that part of it yet, but that's the goal, is to make that a thing. So I got my stuff set up. I'll go ahead and add my interaction class. So you have interactions, right? And then I'll have, remember, don't do that. I'll do a public static class usually. So I'm just clicking the buttons today. I've been like really click happy today. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, so you see how here we just expose a static interaction and let you get access to it. Not quite sure if I want to do that, or if I like that right now, because I generally don't like statics. Like anyone that has ever heard me rant about statics knows that I'm not a huge fan. I believe they have their place. It's not that I say, I'm not dogmatic in the sense that, you can only do it one way. No, I always say use the right tool, but statics are like one of the tools that I see overused, and it scares me when I see it overused. So let's do fun stuff, right? So we've got some interaction. Yeah, interaction. Let's bring in reactive. No. So here we're actually passing in an exception and getting back a return from the operating system as to what the nature of the beast was. I think I want to do something different, right? So like normally, and I've got the page pulled up here, right? So like let's look at the Xamarin Forms page. The Xamarin Forms page actually is what gives you access to the dialogue or the alert or the action sheet or the confirmation box or whatever you want to use or whatever you want to call it. So a lot of the times what we're doing is abstracting a way around just passing the current page instance so that you can get access to what Xamarin Forms already provides you. So the interesting part about this is that really all we want to do is get access to this underlying page fun stuff, right? Like there's no additional magic, there's no ridiculous nonsense that you have to do to get here. We don't want to have to pass in an abstraction to be able to get access to the stuff that's on the page, because then technically we're coupling our view model directly to the page, even though we're doing it behind some abstraction. So what we see here with this display action sheet, and I think I'm actually going to start with the display alert, right? Because the display alert is easy. So we've got a couple of things that it takes in, and it takes in a title, a message, and a cancel, right? So let's go over here and start having fun. So we want to do like alert detail, right? So let's create a class called alert detail. It's going to have some stuff. Let's call it let's do public. And I've been dealing with a lot of immutability, so let's go ahead and make this thing immutable. So we'll do string title. So you have to provide a title because it's like the one thing we won't know. What else does this thing have? Because you know my memory is as good as you would think it would be. Oh no, we're looking here. So it's got a string, it's got a title, it's got a message, and it's got a cancel, right? So let's assume. Wait, does that have a? Okay, so this is just an alert. Okay, so it's an alert. So generally an alert is just a message, so it's just like an okay thing, right? So it's not really a cancel that we want. But we'll have a message. I don't think I have C#8 nullability turned on, which is a problem. So let's figure out. And then this will be string cancel, and we'll default it. Yeah, we'll give it a default of okay. So here, introduce get only for all of these parameters. Yay! Now, if only you were smart enough to put them there where they belong. I'm actually surprised my analyzers aren't turned on right now, so that's weird. Because, like I said, I've been playing with this new .NET template, so I'm just going to take a quick look at your expense. Oh, because I'm using the packages configure, aren't I? I'm using the packages props. Comment. I don't think I... Oh, no, I definitely have those in there. Because otherwise none of this would be set up. So... Oh, because I'm doing it in here. As opposed to... Okay, yeah, so it's just not set up. Alright, whatever. I'll go back. Like I said, I'm playing with it. I don't actually have it worked out. So, as a result, we just want a Boolean value. Boolean value. And we'll call this, see, a show alert, display alert. Am I spelling things correctly? Alert. And we're going to just set that equal to some new interaction. We're not going to provide a thread scheduler because we don't care. Technically, we could probably even make that a... I don't want to do that right now, though. All right. And then here we'll do... Okay, so we've got our interaction. And what we need now at this point is to do some funky, fun stuff with our view model. So let's go to our main page. We've got our Hello Xamarin stuff. And we'll rip that out. And we'll put in a nice, pretty button with a nice, disgusting background color of, like, let's say, chocolate. That looks disgusting. I'm not a fan of red, but let's try crimson. No, we can't do that. we can't in good conscience do that. Sorry, folks. We gotta find some indigo. That looks good. Yep. And we'll go ahead and give this thing a name, and we'll say interact. X name You would think that I don't program very often the way I make all of these wonderful mistakes. I made a comment on Twitter earlier this week that my delete key popped off like several times. Like I was hitting it, and I guess I just like flicked the tip of it because I've got a mechanical keyboard, and the thing just pops off. And I'm like, oh, 3 times in 2 days. I'm just like, maybe I'm refactoring too vigorously. I don't want to actually provide any of that stuff. That's why I give it a name so that I can go behind to the code behind and use ReactiveUI bindings. And we'll do this dot bind command view model. There's no command right now, so we'll call it prompt because what we're going to do is prompt. We're going to call it alert because we're going to alert the user. And then we'll go ahead and do x dot x dot interact. That's what we're calling it. I have a good key, you know, and I didn't even see you join because I don't have my stuff set up. I'm looking over here, and I just happen to see my other screen flicker. So thanks for joining, Fam Dave. What am I breaking now? Yeah, I'm breaking the world, man. You know, one line of code at a time. I'm just gonna break the freaking world. Interact? Isn't that what we called it? I think that's what we called the button. Why are you giving me these squigglies? Is not assignable to type string. Oh. This dot bind command. Wait a minute. Like, now I'm tripping because I've used this 18 million ways from Sunday. Streaming at 460. Am I? I don't know what I'm streaming at right now, candidly. Like, I've got my stuff set to 920 by 1080, but I don't know what I'm actually streaming at, so you know, we'll see. Is it at least visible? Can you see things? Bindable is going to be the view model, right? Why is this acting this way? This is interesting. Okay, as long as you can, like, that's what I'm trying to do is fix it so that when like the videos hit YouTube, they don't look ridiculously horrible and people can't see what I'm coding. I was also thinking about, and I was actually going to ping you earlier, so I'm glad you're here. What do you think about maybe I just create an entire repository on GitHub dedicated to all the stuff? Oh, this is design time data. So this is, I don't remember, Maddie's going to kill me. I don't remember where in the Xamarin lifecycle that it got implemented, but recently, as of like the last year, there's this new design time data stuff. So you'll see it here where or I might have taken it off. Yeah, I think I took it off. I'm such a bad developer. There's this thing called design time data where you can provide a design time data and build your thing while you're using Xamarin Hot Reload. It's because originally it was XAML hot refresh, and having static data, it was easier than dealing with some of the MVVM nonsense. Like, I've got data services behind mine, and the screen will repaint on list views sometimes. And like after the second repaint, like there will be no data there, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, we're getting closer. So that's what that is. I don't really know why this is not working. Because like this is just supposed to be some object source. No, what is... Oh! That is interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. I know what's happening. So this is what's going on. Oh, so the thing about GitHub, yeah, I'm like all over the place right now. Thank you. So the thing about GitHub was I'm thinking about creating a specific repository for all of the Twitch videos so that I can link them to any write-ups that may need to happen as a result of them, or people can leave issues for stuff that they want to see happen. So that way I'd have like because I do the same thing with my blog, right? Like my blog is on GitHub, so you can go and drop an issue on there and be like, hey, Rodney, I want you to write a blog post about this. And if it's a topic that I'm knowledgeable enough about, I'll write a blog post, or I'll go do the research and write a blog post, so that way people can interact with me. So I was thinking about doing the same thing for Twitch, where that way I could upload all of the source code that I write and link it to the videos as they go to YouTube. But I figured, maybe that's too much. But then again, who knows? So this is what's going on, right? So 4.6, Xamarin Forms now has Xamarin Forms markup. And supposedly they have something in there called bind command. I wish I had paid closer attention to that PR. I think, yeah, Twitch deletes after a certain number, but what I do is I pump them up to my YouTube channel, so that way people, they don't have to worry about whether or not they caught it live. They can have at it whenever they want. ReactiveUI bind command. So that's what it is. I was using the wrong command binding. So really, I would link the YouTube video to whatever it is on that feed, and just create a folder per code sample and link the code sample to the YouTube video. That's what I was thinking. And I was going to ask you all that earlier, and I was like, main view model. Oh, it has an error interaction. So I have an error interaction already on my main view model. How smart am I? There's not going to be anything on this. This is where we're going to call it alert. By the way, can you Slack me and leave a message with what you're missing in the controls I sent over to you? Yeah. I'll go ahead and send that over. Actually, hoping that you and I can look at that one of these days here real soon, because I was actually playing around with animations, and I found out that Pharmacist actually wraps Skia Sharp events to observables, so I can get access to like a Skia Sharp canvas view, and I can just do .events and get all the observables for those events. So like now I'm more excited to learn Skia Sharp, because I can just stick observables on the Skia Sharp canvas view events and go to town. Yes! Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, and you know what? I might even have it. I might have it. Let me see if I can find it. I was playing around with it, and I'll open it real quick, because it's just me and you here playing, right? So who cares if I stay on task or on track, because this shouldn't take too long. Let's go to source. Yeah, source, or was it projects maybe? I might have been in projects. Projects. No, here we go. Rodney can click buttons with the best of them. Let's go to here. Let's go to projects. Where was it? Was I playing with that setup app segment? Yeah, here it is. I was playing with this, and I realized that I can do. Okay, let it load. Let it load. Let it load. Oh, I don't care about the sidetrack. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna do something together soon, Dave. Definitely, fam, Dave. We are going to make that happen, but I know you got stuff going on, so that stuff is way more important than me and you playing with this code. But yeah, here's just like a Skia canvas view that I've given an X name to, and here Pharmacist is wrapping the Skia Sharp events in observables, and I'm just like, what? And I haven't talked to, I've been meaning to talk to Michael Stones about this, because he is a proponent of Skia Sharp and RX, and I don't know if he knows about this, but I'm sure he does, because he knows about Pharmacist, so I'm sure that like the light bulb went off for him too. But in case it didn't, we need to make a to-do to tell him, so that way he doesn't have to like not know about this amazing stuff. But I'm sure he probably already does, because he knows about Pharmacist the same as I do. Anyway, I digress. Now that we've gotten as far away from the alert, or we call it interact, right? So that's the button we're going to put. So now that I know that I can't have two bind commands in the same, I'm going to have a problem with that once I actually start playing with C# markup extensions, is that any reactive command that I want to bind using bind command, I'm not going to be able to bind, because they share the same thing. Unless I put the namespace on there somehow. Maybe I can do that. I don't know how you do that with extension methods, so we'll have to figure out. One more thing to figure out when we have time to do the thing. We'll change that to a reactive command of type unit and type unit. We'll go back up here in our nice constructor. Wait, real-time charting. Yeah. That concept of that Skia Sharp wrapper opens up so many possibilities, and this is why I tell people, like, okay, like I'll give it to you. Half the time, those things, reactive extensions don't provide a lot of value. Okay, I'll give it to you. I won't argue, right? But when they hit so incredibly hard that it's just like, how can you not see the value in this? Like, and then, once you start, you don't really want to stop. Because, like, I started writing code functionally in a functional manner. I don't even call it functional code because I still write in an object-oriented language. I don't write in a true functional language, and I do not even make any qualms about that. Like, I'm very aware of that, even though a lot of people will say that they aren't. Base. Hopefully I don't have anything that's being injected. All right, yeah, so here we go. So we've got this. It's going to be a reactive command. Create. Yeah, real-time charting is like, the concept of it is just, because now I can deal with the events at the Skia Sharp level. So I've got it to do. So I don't know if you don't follow me on Twitter. I know you don't. I found the Skia Sharp repo for Xamarin Forms samples, and I'm gonna go through it. Like, my whole thing is to learn Skia Sharp, right? Because Skia Sharp adds a lot of value, I feel, to my Xamarin toolbox. So then once I add Skia Sharp to the Xamarin toolbox, I bolt on the observables that I already know, and now I can subscribe to Skia Sharp events and make events compound on other events and combine with other events and merge with other events and create new observables, and I can just do all the state management in the cleanest way possible and laugh at all the people that set their own state. How late is it over there for you, fam Dave? It's got to be late. It's got to be like at least 1 a.m, yeah? Right, and like, I was on, and I'm going to butcher his name, and I apologize in advance, but I was on Steve Thweisson's stream the other day, watching him, fumble with some Skia Sharp, candidly. I'm not saying anything that, we didn't say while we were there. And then Kim Philpotts got on, and Kim does a lot of Skia in his UI challenges. So Kim got on, and, I was like, yeah, we were just struggling with Skia, and then it dawns on me, you know what, I should just go learn Skia. And I've been talking about learning it, and I feel like that's what will separate my UI from, other people's UIs that I have Skia and they don't. So let's go ahead and do the thing. Let's do an observable dot return. No, let's not do that just yet. Yeah, we'll have to return unit.default. So that's really no different than returning a task. I got a project we can work on it. Yeah, I mean, you know me. I'm slinging code. Anytime I'm not doing Kung Fu, I'm doing code. I've been doing a lot more code lately because, I can't go to the park and practice the way I want to. So, anytime anybody wants to hit me up and walk through some code, let's do it. Let's get on a screen share, get on a live stream, get on a Visual Studio live share, whatever it is, man. Let's talk about code and become better developers together. Because I need smart people to teach me what I don't know so that I can become smarter and teach people that don't know what I know, so that the cycle just keeps, trickling. Each one teach one, and I really do believe in that. Man, look, I'm not the best, man. I fumble. I waffle. I have my moments where it's just like my brain just doesn't work. And I used to get down on myself about that. Like a couple of years ago, I would really get down on myself about that, and it became toxic. Like it all became toxic for me. So I just had to find a way to make it fun, and like, this is fun. Like, I get to sit here, write code. Y'all watch me, don't watch me. I ramble. If you were on here, you could tell me to shut up, but you're not on here, so you just have to watch this on the recording. Haha. Next time, tune in live, and you can tell me to shut up, and I'll shut up. Anyway, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to do this interactions.show alert. So here we're going to pass in some new alert detail. Yeah. And we're going to, wait. Rodney is proving that he doesn't know his own API, right? So let's do that. Let's look at what this thing takes in. I'm just going to do handle. handle. There we go. So this is where the decoupling comes in. Yay, Rodney is winning. Attention. Hello. Goodbye. See, yeah, that's what I was waiting for somebody to point out. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right to me. I'm like, alter, thank you. See, this is why it's good to have somebody else paying attention to me when I code, because, yeah, I'll look at that for like 10, 15 minutes and eventually be like, oh wait, that's spelled wrong, and then I'll have to refactor. Okay, so alter, alert. This should be alert. Why is it? Alert. Why is it not rename? Okay, that's what it is. My refactoring is acting ridiculously fun. Wait, are you doing an alert? Yes, I'm doing an alert. That's what I'm doing is an alert. I'm working with the Interactions API, which is a way that you can do dialogues. Not alter. No, I have, again, I'm not the best at all this. I can make mistakes too. Alert. Why didn't the refactoring go through? Okay, we're just not going to deal with you today and your nonsense. And we're just going to go with the flow. Exactly. Interactions API for dialogues, which are alerts. Yes. Do I still not have it spelled right? Because A-L-E-R. Yeah, no. Man. First off, VS 2019 doesn't work on Mac, so can't do that. And secondly, ew. Where are we? So we've got that. We'll go ahead and put a thing there. Get yourself a real PC. Wow. Yeah, how about that? That would be me getting a PC, which is explicitly what I don't want to do. Why is this interactions.interactions? Why is this in the inner... Oh. La 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 la. Public static interactions. Duplicate definition. Duplicate. What do you mean duplicate? Yeah, there's no duplicate definition. You stop talking to me like you know, like you're smarter than me. Stop being smarter than me, ReSharper. Gosh. Yeah, okay. That's why. Because stuff and things. So now we've got this nice pretty handle method that is doing stuff. All right, so this is going to basically handle... we're going to put a breakpoint here. If we can muster a breakpoint, yeah. Okay. Ryder's just being weird tonight. I can live with that. I think this handle is awaitable, yeah. Oh, the handle by itself is okay. So then maybe I just need to do that. Subscribe, yeah. Okay, that would have been tragic. I'm like, why is my handler not doing what it's supposed to do? So technically I could just return that, but we don't think we're going to do that either. But we'll play with that at the end and see if Rodney knows half of what he thinks he knows. Probably doesn't. But anyway, so we don't have a handler subscribe. So I actually want to explicitly show what will happen when we don't have a handler subscribe. So I'm going to run this and blow up the world. And for the record, fanbase, I have a tower sitting next to me that's on with a keyboard wired up to it that may or may not work. Because I was fixing some UWP bugs the other day. So I was looking at, okay, we need to give it text, huh? So let's give it some text. Text is going to say alert because it's on. I don't have a KVM switch for it because monitor problems and USB-C blah blah annoyance. So I don't have it, but why would I want to stream from that? It's an inferior machine, fam. Let's make it Azure because we like Azure. Yeah. All right. So that should have updated because Writer now has hot restart. So look at that. We just changed the text color and gave it an alert, and now we have this button. And when I click it, it's supposed to throw an exception that I don't see it throwing because I probably have a global exception handler catching it. Default exception. Nope, I guess I don't have a default exception handler on this thing. That's even worse. Why don't I have a default exception handler on here? There should be one. Anyway, so I would expect that this would at least be hit, right? If I click the button. What does this button do? Okay, so notice the button is not doing the thing. That is disheartening. Alert. So did we do something wrong on our binding when we bound it to the view? I don't want to do that, but I think I might have to. Let's give it a name of, so we're going to actually give it the explicit control, the explicit event name, and we want to call it click. We're going to have to do interaction dot clicked. So that'll give the name of that event. So yeah, we're gonna have to stop this. I don't know why you hate on my Mac so much. But yeah, so this is something new. Fam Dave, check that out. Did you see that? That's baller, isn't it? No? There's a delay on the chat. Show you what? I'm looking at it. You're not looking at it? This. Look at that. That's the Rocket Surgeons Guild logo as an app icon. Oh man, you're killing me, Smalls. Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do my face later. So I've been what I was saying earlier. I was playing with .NET new templates and trying to create a succinct template that I use every time I start a new Xamarin project. Just so also working on ReactiveUI templates for that same purpose. But Rider respects .NET new templates. There we go. Okay, so now it works. Gonna have to look into that. That might be a problem. So now it's doing the thing. It's gonna throw an exception, and the exception that I was looking for earlier is that I failed to register an interaction. So there's no registrations. So the thing will blow up. So that's great. We proved that. So that's a very key point of the document. I'm pretty sure it's on the documentation, and I'm pretty sure that I ignored it the first time I looked at it. And then I hit the error, and I was like, what's going on? Oh my God, these people, they suck so much because they don't know what they're doing. And then I realized, oh wait, no, it's me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm bad at the thing. So let me stop being bad at the thing. All right, so let's go ahead and kill that again. And now we're going to come over here and register a handler. So let's drop that down so we can look at the codes. So yeah, that way there's just a default app icon that's not the stock ugly thing, or the Xamarin default, which I don't mind the Xamarin default, but you know, if I can default it to my own thing, add some like swag points to myself. So that's an interesting concept. We'll have to play with that. I'm not going to go there today, but that's an interesting concept. Because I've thought about having some type of like enumeration to dictate, but like I've always looked at it and then I've kind of shied away from it. So that will be an interesting place to try something. Let's actually get some code written, because I'm over here talking to you and not getting any code written. So we'll do interactions dot show alert dot register handler. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this just takes an action. Oh, it takes an action of something though. I want to say this is going to be the handler itself, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's the context. So let's change that so that we're, actually, so let's, and I know a lot of people like to short change it to CTX. That's doesn't actually reduce my cognitive load, it increases it, because then I have to think about what that means. And I try and reduce the number of acronyms I have to keep around in my head. I'll show you the code sometime. I just booted up my code and all that stuff. Nice. Yeah, we'll definitely have to take a look at that. I'm all about that concept of making things the better. Shift F12. So what did we do over here? Because I just want to look at some code. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna say page dot display alert. So display alert is really just an extension method on the page, or a method on the page actually. I guess the same anyhow. So show the whole yeah, so that's kind of the whole point, right? So I prefer things that I can read and understand, and people are, some people are like, oh, it needs to be short. To me, variable names are not a place where you should concern yourself with the shortness of the code. You should really concern yourself more with the readability of the code and whether or not somebody can look at it and understand it. But then again, I also know that other people not being able to read our code helps create job security. So, whatever. I'm like, I don't need job security that much. I'm a decent enough developer that somebody might want to let me write code for them, hopefully. We'll do display. Oh, you're talking about so you probably do it in here. So on the context, you have oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. I think, Bam Dave, you're talking about context dot input dot title. Context dot input dot message and context dot input oh, you are just you're gonna end up being the reason why I stopped live streaming, sir. So mean to me. Let's actually, we're gonna be crass. We're gonna be really crass today. we're gonna be all sorts of bad about every bit of this today. Too observable, because we don't care. We don't want to deal with any type of asynchronous stuff today. We just want to subscribe. Bring in, import the missing file reference. All right, so we're just gonna be really bad RX developers today, because why not? Yes, that line still reads that's alter. So you're talking about here. Here is alter. So this is alter and that's alter. So this needs to change to alert, because again, spelling is one of the best things that I do in life. So I had this conversation with my mother, because my mother is a language nut, and a couple of languages, so you'll appreciate this. So my mother's a language nut, so I tell her it's spelling is a hard thing, because the majority of the time the language that I spell in the most is actually C#. So as a result, I can speak C# real well, but spelling English words sometimes is just like, brr, what's going on? Okay, so now we've got code, we've got a registered handler. Still wrong. Alert. How is it? Okay, yeah, that's what it is. So I went and did the refactoring, right? So you saw me do the refactoring. So then I do here and I do alter. It's still alert. No, I'm not concentrating. I'm talking to you, but that's okay. That's what people come here to see, is watch a developer sit here and fumble for minutes at a time. At least that's what I think people come here for. Set output is going to be, let's do that. Yeah, we're going to be really funny. underscore this set output. Huh. Yeah. Oh, I know what's going on. We actually need to provide it with a true. So this actually requires a Boolean and not a unit. Okay, so no, what it is I spelled it wrong the first time, and it sometimes with me, every time when I spell something wrong, I can't go back and just fix it immediately because my brain is still not context switching correctly. So it's just like it still sees the word as correct in itself, and it's just like, oh, it's very annoying. But I'm very much the type of person that has to reread things a couple of times to get the same value that some people can read once, so and understand it. So that's life. Instead of complaining about it, I just work around it. All right, so our button's got an alert, and then we crashed the app. That's awesome. That is great. So I think I know what's going on. Oh, this is the point where everything falls apart. Stack layout. Let's give it some horizontal option equals center and vertical options equals center. Okay, just so that it's in the middle of the page, because that matters right now when the app is blowing up. What are we doing? We're passing the thing. We're giving it a value. We're giving it a public static read only. I don't know if read only is correct, but it's there for now until we don't need it. We're binding the command. We're doing this thing. Oh, it's most likely this. Yeah, like if I had to guess, I would guess that it's that. That's an action. Does register handler have one that takes a function? I think it does. Yeah, it takes a task based. Okay. Okay. So that's what that is. I'm doing too much the async context. This is what the problem is, and this is why you don't want to mix things in the bag and hope that everything works out all right. Await that, and then we'll do context set output here. Okay, so now we'll run it again. Oh, I also didn't have the debugger attached, so another fun moment. And candidly, I don't know why you're sitting here watching me write code anyway when you already know how to do this. Yep. Anyway, okay, so it does the thing. Now it displays the alert. So now hopefully there we go. So we've got attention, hello, goodbye, right? No big deal. We set the output. Everybody's happy. Yep. What we could also do is we could... Oh, this doesn't return an actual value. Yeah, I know, right? So simple. But I mean, like, that's simple, right? That's a simple example. So let's go ahead and do vertical center. Let's do center and expand. And dinner is here, so I'm probably going to mess around and go eat shortly, because I am hungry. And yes, I know, Rodney, why would you format your XAML this way? Again, I like to be able to read. XAML feels verbose to me. Now, granted, not saying that it's more verbose than C#. Yes, I know. Everyone's going to say, oh, XAML is amazing. You should write all UIs in XAML. Do what makes you feel good, candidly. But this makes me feel good because now I can see everything, and it's not, I don't have to scroll all over the place. Or worse, I'll see some people that will do stuff like this where they'll put most of them on other lines and then they'll have them like jumbled together and then you can't really see what the heck's going on. Just make it freaking readable. Like it doesn't matter if the code's verbose. The compiler is gonna deal with it. Like terse code is good, but terse for terse sake is like, come on. We got bigger fish to fry. Okay, so that's simple enough, right? So we've got an alert. So now we've got some, let's do like a dialogue, right? where we actually do like some type of confirmation. So now we'll do like a confirm, and this will do an execute confirm. We're gonna steal this functional header, because doing that is gonna be fun. It's gonna want me to create a property. It gives me that. I just want this to be normal. I just want it all to be normal. The other thing I want it to do, but it doesn't seem to want to do for me, is put my private methods at the bottom by default. Let's go ahead and do this. So we're gonna just copy this junk out, right? And again, I'm really just trying to show people like what is possible. So like we have an alert detail here. So now let's go ahead and create something similar. Let's create like a confirmation detail. But like let's go back here and look at that's display prompt. We don't want that. Let's go look at the structure of this file. So yeah, you say go use Visual Studio 2019, fam Dave, but can your Visual Studio 2019 do that out of the box without a plugin? Does it just give you access to all of the stuff that's in the source file nice and cleanly? No, it doesn't. You used to have to use CodeMade in order to get to it. It never had a structure. Don't tell me it did. You're full of nonsense. Maybe 2019 does, but 17 didn't for sure. Has it now. Okay. I'm glad they're coming up to feature parity with other people that have, found value in it from the day one. Anyway, and I'm not knocking Visual Studio. I've used Visual Studio most of my career. It's just, I think Visual Studio is at a point of critical mass where they need to kind of strip the whole thing down to bare metal and kind of redesign it from the ground up. And I know that that's a tall order to ask, so I'm not asking that of them because I'm a software developer. I know what that implicates, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't need to happen. So there. Let's do an action sheet. How about that? Action sheets are fun because we've got this string of buttons that we can play with, right? So so cancel destruction. So it's got a title. So these are the things that we want to take in on our. It's my stream. I can do what I want. You don't want to listen? Go to sleep. How about that? I'm sitting here talking to myself. Yeah, it took it. So that was the thing for me. But the thing for me was also this, right? Like I write so much code on the side, so I started using Writer at home, and then after that, so what are we doing? Action sheet detail. Yeah, who cares? So I started using it at home to do my open source work, and then like fell in love with it, and then all of that became negligible. So, yeah, let's do this auto property. No, don't give me that one. Give it to me for all the parameters. We're gonna put this. Put that up there because these things matter, lest we descend into anarchy. Yeah, I'm very much a fan of use the tool that you that you know. I like I like this concept. Buttons. What does this button do? Not quite sure what the destruction does, but let's go ahead and move that into its own thing. Let's move it. Let's go ahead and take the instead of doing confirm, we'll change this whole thing up and we'll call this action sheet. Yes, I know these are view naming concerns that Rodney is just putting directly into his view model. How dare he? He is a horrible MVVM practitioner. Yep. Say what you want. Don't care. Lyndon Huey, thank you for joining. I didn't even know you were here. Appreciate you watching. Hopefully it was value add. So we'll go back up here and we'll register. Oh wait, no, that's the app XAML. We don't care about all this stuff. So let's start pinning stuff. So we'll pin this tab. We'll pin that tab. We'll pin the page. And we'll close all the pinned. We don't need that anymore, I don't think. So now we've got this action sheet. We want to we're going to register a handler for show action sheet. Yep, no, we're not going to worry about any of that right now. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of that. That's definitely not going to be a class. We're going to create this as a nice... Well, that was cute. Alright, yeah, so we're going to end up doing fun stuff, and spotlight search doesn't help us. And we'll call this that. We'll set that there. This would have to be static in order to get to the context. Now it's going to tell me that it can be read-only, which, yeah, sure, why not? Now we can take the... you know, it's funny because, like, action sheet is one of those where instead of showing it, I actually kind of want to use the display verb, but do the thing. So input has a title, a message, and a cancel, but we're not actually displaying a alert. We're going to display an action sheet. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Glad I am paying attention to details, yeah? Now we've got errors. All right, so input dot cancel dot destruction context dot, and I can actually probably like even abstract this down even further. As a matter of fact, I may look at a technique for how to do that, because I feel like I can do some more RX magic that makes this even easier, like, but I'm not 100% sure yet, so we'll see. Because like this will do all this for this page, but you wouldn't want to wire this up on every single page, so you could do some like some page appearing nonsense. Yeah. Let me. I'm thinking about that in my head. Let's play with that at the end, at the very end. All right, so we're just passing stuff up through the context. We'll set the action sheet actually gives us a value, doesn't it? It gives us a string. So now we actually want to go change this because we don't want it to give us back a value. We want it to give us back a string. And this is going to be a string. Save. So now we'll just do this string.empty for now. Wow, buttons are hard. I've been coding for too many hours straight. Okay, so now we'll do this. Var result equals that. And then we'll pipe this out to the result. This time we'll actually do something with the contents. We can set state, can't we? In result. As a result of this. Technically, yes. Technically, I can do show action sheet. This would be action sheet detail. So that means in the subscribe, I would have access to whatever this thing is, yeah? And I can, oh. All right, fam, Dave, you ready for this? We're going to have some fun. Let's just call it action is going to be, okay, yeah, action, let's do this. Kill that. We're not going to do that there. We're going to do that here. So we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to do some junk that I probably wouldn't do in a That shouldn't be there. We're going to do something fun, I think. So here we're just going to do a public string action get underscore action. Glenn has been threatening me that he's going to rewrite the Fody stuff using the new the new C#, what is that stuff? The source generator stuff. So I'm not using Fody property weavers because we don't weave those properties, yo. We just take the second to do the thing. All right, so now we've got that action which we can bind out. So we'll put a label, right? Okay, so we've got a button. We're going to create another button called action. And we're going to have a label called x name equals output. Yeah? Okay. So let's go wire these things up in our code behind. We're just going to grab that code, paste it. All right, here we're going to do action sheet. And here we're going to do action. It's going to be the name of clicked. And then we're also going to do, a this.one. And the answer is yes, I talk to myself when I write code. Because there's no one here to talk to. Changing whose color? What are we changing the color to? Oh, the button? What color you want the button? I will let you choose the button because you liked crimson. I don't. I'll let you choose this time. I just can't in good conscience. Okay, we'll let this button be crimson because Fam Dave wants it crimson. So we'll keep that. That can be there. This is going to be crimson. The output. All right. So you ready for this, Fam Dave? You ready for the magic? All right. So we always talk about subscribing, right? And in ReactiveUI, I may have written this in a blog post, but I may not have. I've got a draft of it somewhere. But there's 3 call to actions, right? There's subscribe, which is what you do at the end of a normal observable. There's like invoke command. I've written, and I'm trying to write an extension method for invoking interactions, candidly, in the same manner you do invoke commands, but I'm running into brain farts all over the place, and I've got plenty of other stuff to do. And then there's toProperty, right? So we can do a toProperty and give it a name of action, which is our string, yeah? All right, because the handle explicitly returns whatever comes on the string, right? So now when we go here, because we're doing, this is the alert, this is our action sheet. When we do this action sheet, we're going to provide, and we're actually going to, provide what? That's the destruction. So now we're going to provide buttons, right? So we're going to say, what's some stuff? Let's do ReactiveUI, because I can't think of names right now because I'm starting to get pharmacist. What colors should we make our label, Fam Dave? Dynamic data, which is becoming one of my favorite libraries, candidly. It's all of the business. And all right, so that yellow, they call me mellow yellow. Background color is going to be yellow. We'll do yellow green. Can you compromise with me there? Because yikes. Text color, we're going to want the text color to be something like black, but not actually black. Let's make it something obtrusive, but at the same time, not horrible. I'm getting messages from a friend of mine. And he's probably wondering. I think crimson is spelled. No, it's not. It's even giving me the color. You know, sir. I think you're funny. I think you're really, really funny. We'll just make that black for now. Okay. No, it's not a red squiggly. It's the color. Yeah, Rider is being cool. I want to say Visual Studio has that feature. You know, that and you're on your handy as opposed to your handy. Listen to me. Speaking to a friend of mine in Germany this week. They call mobiles handies. It's like the short version. You don't think what does? Why are my buttons so ugly? Why are my buttons so ugly? So looking at this code in this resolution is not fun for me either, just for the record. Yep. Thank you for being a better Xamarin Forms developer than me. And knowing what's what and where. Output has a binding to it. We should see the background color of the label because the vertical options are there. Okay, so let's see if our UI is not ugly now. So I don't see our label, which is kind of weird, but oh, we also didn't change names. So let's go ahead and change the name of this. Like, I wish there was a way that I could like give it a name and make the text the name. That would be great. Like, all right, so here's my alert, which is now broken. So somewhere along the way we broke our alert. How do we do that? How did you break it? My handler is registered. My view model is doing the correct thing. Execute alert, execute action sheet. So what, pray tell, am I doing wrong? Something to do with it. All right, we'll stop it. Rerun it. So yeah, tangents and brain working. So I always used to make this joke when I was younger that my brain works in these like in this series of circles. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Because I was using the name of the interact.clicked for both of them, it didn't know how to resolve it. So that's a really weird thing to me because that's just supposed to be the name of API providing a string. So the fact that that would cause a binding issue is just like, my brain hurts. Anyway, so hey, look at this. We've got all our fun stuff. We've got dynamic data. So where's our label? Do we have to give our label like a size? I mean, we just want our label to be there. How about that? We'll just do that. Let's see what happens. Because it's probably just being shown at the bottom of the stupid screen because, you know, I'm not paying attention. But it's a stack layout, so it should just stack. Yeah, isn't that strange that I've even got a... Yeah, I can put a background color on the stack layout. Background, yeah, that's exactly the next thing, right? Like you start playing with colors and you just start putting colors all over the place and see what happens. Oh, it did the hot restart while it was like almost in the back. Yeah, so like, see how there? It's just not even rendering my label. That's which is weird. Why won't it just render my label? It's just a label. Let's give it default text. What's light gray? Uh-oh. Why move the label? He says move the label to the top. Move the label to the top. Label's at the top. You happy now? Still not there. Like, I don't see anything. Oh, you want me to change this to light gray? Let's do that. That's fine. Light gray. Can never spell gray properly. Whether it's G-R-A or J-R-E. Yeah, I don't see it. So that's why I want to give it the default text, because maybe it just doesn't have, maybe because it's bound and it doesn't have text, we don't. Hello? See, yep, that's exactly what it was. Didn't have text, which means that our binding isn't working correctly. So let's go figure that out now. Rodney is I'm just so smart. That's what it is. I did all that and I didn't need to do any of that. Underscore action dot value, because we're going to change this to an observable as property helper of type string. Yeah, because that's how things work in the real world. That can probably be, no, we don't want to initialize that from the constructor. Bad resharper. Bad resharper. We're going to set that equal to that thing. We don't like the way that looks at all. Yeah, and I didn't even think about it because, because like by default, it's like, okay, so I don't know if people know this, but by default, like binding to a button will disable the button if the button's enabled is set to false. Pretty sure. So I'm assuming that the visibility has something to do, the visibility of the label has something to do tied in with the fact that there's no default text for the label. So we could very easily just set the is enabled to true. We could do something here and do some reactive nonsense if we wanted to, but none of that really makes sense at the moment. Okay, so now what we're going to do is that's what I was supposed to do. So now we're going to use toProperty, pipe that out to the toProperty. That's going to bind based on our binding engine stuff. And now we're going to have a nice pretty label at the top of the screen if Rodney didn't screw this up. So okay, so now we tell it goodbye. We click the action. We give it pharmacist. Notice how it's still not updating. Is it like new default behavior that I'm unaware of? That is extremely interesting. I'm gonna have to play with that later because that seems weird. It doesn't seem like that should be happening. I mean, I feel like that label should be there. Well, I guess maybe not, right? Because it's not like a box view. It's not just like we're painting something on the screen. So I guess it makes sense that the label wouldn't have visibility if the label isn't... that didn't pick it up. And I also don't want that at the bottom of the screen. So let's set the vertical options on this to end. End, expand, maybe? I'm probably going to regret that expansion. Then what does it have to do with it? No, because we just saw it. When I put default text in it, watch, okay, we'll do it live, right? First thing we're going to do live is fix that. Yep, there we go. That. Are we not picking up updates? Did we stop getting updates? Okay. So the second I put a default value in here, right? So if I do text equals hello, it shows up. So I'm assuming it has to have something to do with there being a value in the actual label in order for the label to display. That's the only thing that would make sense there. maybe it's not the visibility, maybe it's the enabled, right? Like, so maybe it's just like we need to do, instead of this, we just do like is enabled equals true. Oh, we broke it. That's probably not right. Do not have been. Oh man, typing is hard. It's supposed to. Like that. I don't know, and that's what I'm trying to figure. Oh, so you want me to put a breakpoint and see? I don't think it will, candidly. And maybe the problem is that I need to put. No, because I've used this technique before. Like, I've used this technique before to where I've done this in a function, and then the function just propagates it up. But we can check the registration on the. We'll put breakpoints all over the world, yeah. Because we don't really care about that anymore. We want to see this. We want to see where it's set. So we do the thing. We click the button. The button doesn't do the thing. No, we don't want to do system preferences. So the button doesn't do the thing anymore. What's going on here? Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't think it really has anything to do with that either, but like, it's weird that it, like, the second I put text in it, it shows up. Let the waffling begin. Did I get a one-way bind from the action, which is a string, to the output text, which the output text is the label, right? So the alert works, that's fine. The action sheet does a thing. I think I know what's going on. Maybe? Okay, no, we're setting the output. Yep, you see pharmacist getting set. Uh-oh. Am I not happening on the... Oh. You know what is possible? It's possible that I'm not doing it on the right thread. Okay, so we don't want to do this, but we'll try this anyway. We'll do dot observe on rx app dot main thread scheduler. Let's see if that changes anything. I don't think it will, but it might, because we're doing weird stuff, and then we're doing the dot to property, so like maybe the property needs to be displayed out. Yeah, it's bound in the XAML. I think what it is I'm starting to get hungry, and I'm like, I don't care anymore. I proved my point. I'm just trying to be, special at this point to show other things that you can do with the framework, because I think the thing that I get all the time is like, I just don't know what to do, or I don't know where to begin. And I completely understand that. Like, where do you begin? Let's give it a D-O-O. It's like, I know I've used this technique before. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? Here we go. Let's go ahead and do some really fancy shit, and let's just break the world today, right? Because clearly this is not working. So we'll do this. This is going to be the what is it? The action sheet. Observable equals that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a dot publish. And I think in this case I want to do a ref count. I don't want to do a ref count. I explicitly want to publish it because I want it to be a connectable observable. Okay. So now it'll do stuff, and I can define everything that it's supposed to do, and I can define this. And this is one of the things that I learned recently, and I'm gonna actually do a blog post on this soon. I actually started it yesterday, maybe. Okay, so now I can wire up that, but I think I actually want to do this. Yes, now I can do this up here. I think I hear my wife sending me Morse code through the walls. She's probably telling me, "Come eat. Stop streaming. Come eat. The food's cold." Okay, so now here what I'll do is, instead of doing that, I will do .connect. Dispose. And then here, and this is going to be janky, right? In my do statement, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do like disposable.dispose. Ooh, I don't know if this is going to work. YOLO. Yeah, that created as an iConnectable observable. That's fine. So I have created an observable. So now what I basically did was I just deferred when the subscription is going to happen. So I'm able to wire up all my subscriptions, but instead of it happening right away, it's actually going to it's not going to happen until I actually call this connect. So I should put a breakpoint here real quick so you can see that. So like this is real janky. Yeah, I know. All my janky code. So okay, so now it's connected and returns the dispose. Does it actually do the action sheet bit? Nope. That's not gonna work. Yeah. Failed to find a registration for interaction. You sure about that? Oh, we may not be able to do this the way I want to do this. I may have just learned something new. I don't know if I can do this way. Also, I may not be able to do what I want to do. So what I was trying to do. Nope. I'm not. Yeah, I may post this code on GitHub. If you want me to post it, I'll post it. I just don't know why this isn't working. Because like I don't want to do explicit publish ref count. This is doing a deferred execution of the to property on name of action. Yeah. Which is what we're passing out. We can give it a default value of default. Right, so that should at least give it a... Okay, so let's at least see if the initial value piece works. Because that'll give us an indication as to whether or not this whole... thing is functioning correctly. Oh, yeah, I'm also probably doing the disposal incorrectly. Yeah, okay, so, see, there we go. Oh yeah, I'll push it up so you can play with it. I don't care. You want to play with my janky code? You go right ahead. This is gonna blow up again. Yeah, that's a huge issue. So let's stop that. We're not being a good coder. We are not being a good developer right here by doing this. Let's be smarter about this. Let's change this into... Nope, we don't want to do it that way. Can we do, let's get rid of this altogether. Let's, can we just do, yeah, okay, so there's no easy way for me to refactor that the way I want to, so we'll just go ahead and do the thing. Using the connect, we will go ahead and return. So now that will explicitly happen as a result. Yeah, I may actually play with this use case and see if I can get this to work, because this is actually pretty interesting now that I think about it. Like allowing your user to interact with something and then just doing a .to property to just display it on the screen. Like, that sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, okay. So now I've got a default value at least. Okay, so we change it. Yeah, it's not finding that. To prevent this, ensure the pipeline does not. Where are we making a mistake? So when I do these normally, now what I'm gonna do is this. Take this. Dot thrown exceptions. Dot subscribe. Exception. And we're going to do error interaction dot handle exception dot message. Yeah, let's just pile it on as thick as humanly possible. Yeah, let's just make it as ridiculously difficult as we can. Let's go back out here. And let's do, this is where we're going to have fun. View model dot error interaction register handler context. I think we'll do async. Yeah, so we know the line worked. What's going on is I'm doing something outside of the observable pipeline, so now I'm just trying to find a way to bubble that back up. Context.set output is going to be true. What we're going to do is we're going to do var result equals display alert. Error context dot input dot message. What is, oh, it's just context dot input. There is not a complex type. And I need to just give it an OK for now. All right, so now, because we're not, done with adding more complexity, now this error interaction should show me what the error is, because this goes back to the crux of what the original code was doing, is it was just bubbling up an error to show me on screen. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. System.reflection.Rodney's funny. I know exactly what's going on. Yeah, I knew we can do that. Right. So, how do we get around that? This stop when any value. Yep, you're still going to be ambiguous. I like you too. Dot where x. We're going to dot subscribe. We are going to cheat. So now what we're saying is when the view model actually instantiates, go do this stupid stuff and register the thing. Because apparently we're not smart enough to know that the view model isn't actually created at the time that this method completes. Yeah, like now I'm well past hungry, so I'm like, all right, here we go. Yep, that's fine. Page loads, we have a default. We go do the thing. It's gonna still hit the debugger break. Observable's property helper is errored, thereby. Oh, the property helper itself is erroring? The hell? Okay, so it's the property helper that's breaking its observable pipeline, which means that it doesn't like this. Like normally I can put breakpoints in these, but for whatever reason today I'm unable to, which is extremely awkward because it's like one of my favorite features that Rider has is the ability to put a breakpoint further into a Lambda expression. So the way I wanted to do this is not working. But this should work. Because I'm establishing it up front. But the observable as property helper is what's causing the problem. So isn't there like a, I'm going to show my lack of knowledge of the framework for a second. Bool defer to, yep, I can defer to the subscription. So let's do defer subscription is going to equal true. And let's give it the rx_app.main_thread scheduler just so that it knows explicitly that that's where we want to do this thing. I don't think versus property helper scheduler. What does the scheduler give us? Okay, that's the schedule that the notification will be provided on. So now I might be overscheduling, but I'd rather overschedule than underschedule. What do you mean? Which I'm sorry, which line? This line? Which line are you talking about? Are you talking about this? Like that line? Or you want to see this hit this breakpoint? Line 34. It's set the default. Yeah, it's setting the default value as the property helper. What's happening is that somewhere in the change, as the observable ticks, something is breaking. In case you weren't talking about this. Yeah, no on error. We're not going to go through all of this stuff. So we're clicking the button. It's going to break its observable pipeline again. Just you watch. Yep. Default debugger's attached. What is the exception? It's an unhandled interaction. Failed to find a registration. But we've registered registering the handler right there, yeah. We saw that working earlier. These are the moments where it's just like, I don't really know how to code in RX. RX is hard. I should be better. All right, we're going to try one more scheduling trick. And if that doesn't fix the problem, then we're going to take it back down to the bare metal and just see what we can do to make it work. this might be one of those rare cases where I might actually need to subscribe and deal with the boxing and unboxing of the observable on that thread, but it also may be that I need to do this on the main thread. That might be a thing. But yeah, at this point, like normally what I'm doing now is just scheduling all the things. Okay, well it didn't error this time, but it also didn't update anything. So that still works. My action sheet never actually does anything. So one would assume I don't think I can do this. I don't think this is actually going to work. It won't work like this, that's for sure. But maybe if, okay, so let's actually, okay, we're gonna try one more thing, and then I'm just gonna admit defeat and go get some food. All right, so we got this action sheet observable. We're doing this. Maybe if. We're not going to publish it here. We're just going to set that to the observable there. Then we're going to do but I feel like we have to publish it. I'm doing a defer on the description, or this defer on the subscription description. I feel like I am missing something. Why do I always feel like I'm missing something important? So this is the thing that I've been doing, but okay, so let's just do that dot. It's like, okay, let's just go ahead and be low tech to prove the point, and then I'm going to play with this stuff off stream. Because what we can do is we can just set the action here. I mean, there's really no, we want to do that to property. We want to do it the way we want to do it. So let's just do it the way we want that to property. And it candidly may not be designed to do this, so we'll see. Alright, we'll try it again, because, maybe Rodney's not paying close enough attention to stuff. We'll go ahead and it may also be the fact that I've got some tasks in there that I'm using, so. Yeah, it's like we have a saying in martial arts, like there's like retreat is a tactic, right? Like retreating is actually a tactic. Observable.return unit.default. Alrighty then. So we're gonna handle it. Hopefully this time this will just magically work. I don't think that it will, but it might, so we'll see. I know why it won't do this. Yes, I think I do. All right. Let's do that publish ref count. Is that actually going to give me the experience that I want? No, it's not going to give me the experience that I want, so let's not even add the complexity in our own brain. And over here, we'll do underscore action dot subscribe. Action observable. Dot subscribe. We'll see if this works. See, I candidly wasn't even sure if this was going to work. It seems like it's not going to work, but now I know what the limitations of the interactions API are, so I can play with it more later. See, that's the thing. Nope. We are not getting through. Okay. I'll have to ask somebody smarter than me how to do this. And see if they've got a better idea. Like, I feel like this should work. But there may be some internal implementation details that I'm unaware of that are keeping this from not working. I would like this to work because then this opens up a whole new can of worms around stuff I can do with reactive. But for whatever reason, I don't see it working the way I want to right now. And it's probably possibly because of all of this that I'm doing. It's not even setting the default anymore. Okay, well, we can do it this way. Just to prove. Alright, so just to make life easier for ourselves, we'll go ahead and delete all that. And we'll get rid of that. And I'm going to do something that I absolutely detest doing. But we're going to do it anyway. Fix it. Interactions is just going to do the interaction thing. And then the subscribe on that method. And this is why I think I need like a handle, like a callback or something, because like this subscribe is good, but I like some like cleaner way to unbox this, similar to like an invoke. Or maybe that's technically what this handle already does, right? And maybe I'm just overthinking it, and I think that might be exactly what's going on. But no, because you still have to subscribe. Anyway, we will just set the action equal to X. We'll go back here and we'll change this to do return underscore action. Do expression body. Yeah, it's pretty. Not a problem. Have a good night. I'll have this stuff working by the time you wake up. That can go away because we're not using it anymore. Let's delete all that code. Raise and set if changed. If changed to expression. So now if I do this, call it output. Call that output. Yeah, I need to get some food. It's late now. Set the output. Hey! Okay, we couldn't do it the way we wanted to, but at least we proved the fact that it's like doable, right? So it's just like, hey, here you go, here's a thing. So here's a way you can use the default platform display alert in an MVVM way. Get flow control from your view model to your view in a decoupled but cohesive manner, and this is just a way to do it. I may actually expand on this later. I may come back and do another thing on this and come up with a better use case. But that's pretty much all I've got for today. I appreciate everybody for watching. We've done some more value adding by showing that you don't have to inject a dialogue service all over the world. You can just use interactions and invert the control flow from your view model to your view and allow your users to propagate data back to your view model. So that's it for me, and have a good weekend.